Hey, how's it going? So today I'm gonna try to change my alternator belt on a 91 Toyota pickup there, and kind of show you what's going on there. So the alternator belt, you can see I got two belts because I don't have a AC. So the front belt, I don't know even what. I'll look and see what that's for. But the back belt's what I'm after. That one back there, and the middle one is not unused. I believe that goes to my air conditioning unit, which I don't have. So first thing I did is I took off the negative battery terminal cable because I don't need to have the engine turn on me while I'm working down there. I'm trying to see if I can get a good shot to show you what's going on. You can kind of see, you can just about see right. Trying to show you the belt there. What am I looking at? So there's a fan, so it should be back there. There you can see it. It's just hanging on by a couple of threads there. So that's it started. The reason why I knew this is it started making a squealing sound, and ironically only when I was backing up. So there's my alternator down there. And so my game plan, first of all, I don't know what I'm doing, so don't do what I do. This is just how I'm doing it. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I got to get that front belt off so I can put the back one on. I'm just going to back off this bolt here, and there's a bolt on this wheel here, so I'll probably have to loosen those and back those off and stuff to get this front belt off. And then so that's what I'm gonna do second. Like I said, I already took off the negative battery cable. So let me kind of get positioned and see how that goes. So something else I want to point out is, because I don't know what I'm doing, I put it on ramps there in case I need to go underneath it to get to that alternator. So it's up a little bit high, and it's not really easy for me to put the camera up here so you can watch me do stuff. People always want to watch me loosen those bolts and stuff for some reason. But all I did is I turned that to left a little bit with the wrench, but then I noticed, wow, it's really you can just turn it by hand. So I just kept backing this off by hand. You can see I don't want to go too far because it'll probably separate from something. And I'm sure that the nut or bolt, I can't really tell what it looks like. It might be a nut down there on this pulley is holding it in place. So I'm gonna loosen that, and that'll probably make that go down. Alright, so I got this belt off. Both those, that nut and that bolt were both 14 millimeters. This one I just used a long, I'll show you what I used. I used a long handled ratchet on that one. And this one, luckily I got kind of like a special tool. So this is how I got the one way down there off, or the nut off the pulley. And then I got this ratchet here where I can turn the handle and it undoes that. So it was really handy for putting it down there. I just kept turning it. And then I just looped it off the front pulley, looped it off the power steering pulley, I think that is, and then got it off down the crank pulley down the bottom, and then got it out. It looks okay. I mean, it should probably be replaced. Little hairline cracks, but it's so easy to get at, I think I'll just wait till it snaps. So that one's done. I'm worried that this one's too small, but this came up to be supposedly that's the correct one. So I'll take I was tempted just to cut it off, but I want to take it out to see, lay it over the top of this one, see how close to being the right size it is. So next comes the fun part. Supposedly the alternator's held on by some bracket. I mean not a bracket, but a nut or a bolt. And I think I see it here. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. I think it's that nut right there. And see that one right there? I think I loosen that, and that'll allow me to pivot. And usually when you're dealing with an alternator, sometimes you got to loosen the other nut that holds it on to let it pivot, but we'll see what happens there. And I'll probably have to do this from the bottom. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to take this plastic pipe out to give me more access to the alternator. I got really good access underneath. Looking up, I can see the alternator and those belts really good underneath. But I'm having a hard time getting to the top pivot belt, or tensioner bolt or nut or whatever it is on the alternator. The bottom one I should be able to get at really easy from the bottom. So this you just unloosen clamps until you can get this thing off. And shouldn't use your engine bay as a storage compartment. That's not what it's for. But again, don't do what I do. That's just how I did it. But that does give me quite a bit more access. And hopefully I'll be able to get to it to the top. Let's see if I can give you a better shot. What I'm trying to get at there. Still trying to get that guy right there. Right there. I think it's 12 millimeter. So we'll see how it goes there now that I get that pipe out of the way. Okay, a little update. Actually, ironically, I did get it from below and didn't realize it because I felt like I thought my wrench was slipping. But I reached down there and I can turn it by hand. So now I need to go underneath and find that pivot nut again, or bolt, and break that loose, and that should allow that alternator to pivot back and forth on that bracket down there. Let's see. You can, again, keep showing you this, but there's the bracket down there somewhere. And so, I think if I knew what I was doing, I could have done it without putting that in. But you know what? Having this out is going to make dropping those belts in a lot easier, because it was kind of hard fishing around that thing. And it's not that hard to take that pipe in and out. So I wanted to show you what it looks like from the bottom there. I already got it loose. It came out very good. If you see a guy like me picking up a yoga mat, this is what we're going to do with it. So go down here. So let's see. So that was a nut right there, and I was actually just able to reach around and hold the bolt from the other side. I can't tell if it's a nut or a bolt, which way it's facing. But then I just took my wrench here, put it on there with one hand, right, and the other hand I held it in the back, and it came loose. And then watch, so you can pull on it, and the alternator pivots now. And there we go. We got enough slack. Boy, it really chewed up that belt. That's kind of scary how much it chewed it up. I don't know why. I'll take the rest of the way off from the top. You can see I was afraid to drive a truck around after I saw how bad it was. So it's gone. I don't know why I have no idea why it chewed it up that bad. Anyways, glad I saw it. It would have sucked to have your alternator belt break on the freeway or something. Anyways, let me get on top and get this belt out of there, and we'll pick it up from there. Alright, so here we go. I was worried that don't do this around your positive battery terminal. It's a dangerous place to work. Anyways, I was worried that my new belt was too small, but granted my old one's probably stretched out a little bit. It's hard to do this one-handed. Anyways, oh, here I can use this one. So it looks like it's the same size. The new one, yeah, they're pretty close, same size. So the old one had those little notchy deals in it. It really fell apart there. Man, that thing just fell apart. The OEM one doesn't have that. So anyways, now let me see if I can get this one on. All I'm going to do is, yeah, I got to loop around this pulley, and around the back one down there. Oh. Yeah, I shouldn't have to worry about timing or nothing. As long as I don't turn my crankshaft, should be good to go on timing. It's not messing with my distributor, so I should be good to go. Yeah, so let me just fish that around on everything, and actually I think I'm lying to you. It's just going to go around that pulley there. Oh, this is why you make videos. And I know it goes around the alternator. And I can't remember if it was going around. I don't think it was going around the power steering pump. Anyways, I have to look at my own video. I didn't pay attention. But it'll only fit on one way because it's so short. I think it just went right around my crankshaft and around the alternator. Okay, there was 3 pulleys. I just didn't see it because it's dark down there. It goes over, I guess this would be your fan pulley. It goes right there, then around the crankshaft, and them around the alternator. So I got it around the fan pulley and the crankshaft. I just need to get under there and get it on the alternator. Yeah, I finally got that belt on. Turned into a horrible nightmare. What happened was the alternator, you can see the tail end right there, I believe. That's the bracket that allows the alternator to slide in and out, and there's a bolt underneath there. So I loosened the bolt under there, and loosened that bolt, and I was able to slide it there, but I could not slide it far enough over to get the new belt on. And I think what had happened is, if you've ever taken off your your power steering pump bracket and your alternator, it's a big weird jigsaw puzzle, and you only get one opportunity to do that. Once you get this engine assembled, you can't really get at the nuts and bolts you need to loosen that up. And I think it was just off a little bit, because like I said, I couldn't do it. The only way I could get the darn belt on was I had to basically take the alternator off, take the top bolt off, take the bottom bolt off, put the belt on, then I put the bottom bolt on, and then I could not get and that was what the problem was. Then I couldn't get the top one back in. It was off by about 3 millimeters. That bracket, the hole was raised up. Now there is also chances an aftermarket alternator, maybe that was what was wrong. But anyways, I just had to pry and stuff on this. I was contemplating taking the whole bracket off and reassembling it. But luckily I just got a bar, stuck it in there, kind of bent it. I pried on it and was able to get the alternator to come down just enough. Actually, I had to lift it. It was sitting down too low. Got it to good enough to where I get that bolt in. And finally, I got that bolt in. Once I got that bolt in, then I tightened it down and tightened the back one. Hopefully, it's tight enough. It's such a small belt, so if it squeaks, what I'll do is, and that's probably why the other one shredded so bad, it's probably too tight. If it squeaks, then I'll just loosen the top one and try to pry this back, but I almost need 2 people to do that. So now all I gotta do is put on this last belt. Sorry for all that rambling, but it got dark and cold. It gets dark now like at 4:30, so I dropped down into the 30s last night, so I couldn't work on it and had to wait till today. Anyhow, just all I gotta do left. If you want to watch, you can quit at this point. I'm just gonna put this last belt on, and then I gotta put it all back together, and we'll test it out. Okay, all I did is put the belt on the pulleys. You just loop it around the fan, get it down there. It's not rocket science. I wish all the tensioners on the Toyota was like this. You can get it. This one was really easy. You just tighten this bolt and it pulls this wheel up. And then I usually like to use a 90-degree bend on the longest rung. Problem is the longest rung is down there and I can't get my hand in there to twist it. So I kind of use this one, even though it's the second longest run. And I made it tight. Usually just want it to bend 90 degrees. I just made it so it's a little bit tight to bend 90 degrees. And that hopefully will mean that one that's the longest run will bend right at 90, but it kind of doing a guesstimate thing. Main thing is you don't want to over tighten it. Mess up your belts, and also wears out your bearings and your pulleys faster. Anyways, hopefully it's tight enough. We'll know if it squeals or not. So now I just gotta put the intake on. It's not rocket science. It's just what they call these band clamps and these kind of clamps here. And there it is over there. I just gotta put that in. Then we'll fire it up and see how loud it squeals. Alright, not squealing. Sounds pretty good. I checked the gauge inside. That's one nice thing about these old Toyotas. They got a voltage gauge in there. It's putting out the right voltage. You can't start your cars because you didn't hook up your negative battery cable. But that's about it. Hope this video helped somebody out. I know it wasn't very good, but thank you for watching and you have a great day.